Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back with the next part of our tutorial series, and just one last thing I forgot to include in our last videos. In here, we also need a public game object weapon graphics because we want a different. Well, you don't have to, but we could want a different graphics for each weapon type when we do our upgrade. And then in here, we'll just go ahead and in our power up, we'll do our combat.currentweapon.graphics.setActive false. Set the new weapon there, and then once again we'll go ahead and do combat.currentweapon.weapongraphics.setActive, and then this time we'll do true. And then we can do the same down here. And so the reason this works the way it does is because first, the one that we had before, we're setting it active to false. Then we're setting that variable to the new one, and then setting that one to true. Even though it looks like it's the same thing, because we're changing this current weapon here, we're actually setting a different object true and not the old one. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and set all this stuff inside of Unity and then test it out, just so you don't have to watch me just dragging on stuff and all that, and then we'll be back in a little bit. Oh yeah, and one more thing, forgot to mention, is just by default, it's not a really big deal, but just by default, let's go ahead and set our current weapon equal to our default weapon, like we've done, whoops, not default, default weapon, just like we've done for our default speed and default jump speed in the jumping and speed upgrades. So I haven't upgraded or implemented everything yet, but here's the weapon upgrade power up script, and we're going to go ahead and see if this one works first. So here's our player, remember, same as usual. Here's our weapon. I kind of lowered its effectiveness just, so the upgrade would do something useful for us. And where did he go? Where'd the cube go? Oh, here we go. Turn off rigid body. We don't want it to use gravity. Okay, let's go over here. Let's trigger him. Am I passing right through him? It looks like I'm... Okay, yeah. Let's set the cube's Z value to 0. Oh my goodness. Alright. We trigger it. And there we go. And then I can't tell if our GUI is working because it's with a white thing, but actually looks like our GUI is not working, in fact. And one thing I forgot to do. Let's change this to 0.1 and we'll do 0.3. One thing real quick, just so we can see everything, let's go ahead and go open up every single power up, and then we'll do actually let's go into our I power up script, and then in here where we do our on active GUI or whatever, we'll just do GUI dot color equals color dot black, so we can see a little bit better. Let's go in here and let's find out why is that not showing up. Oh shoot, I forgot to save this. And there we go, and as you can see we have a red projectile. That guy just has extra speed, and he does 2 damage, so he'll one-shot these cubes as well. Okay. Oh, I did forget to check about the GUI. So let's go ahead and before I fix the GUI thing, I'm gonna go ahead and test all the other power-ups. So let's make a duplicate of this. Move to the left a bit more, and we're gonna make this guy. Let's remove this, and then we'll just go ahead and add on our health power-up. Okay. Next, we'll make a copy of this guy, move him to the right of our player, and we'll make him the speed power up. Okay, and then once more to the right of this guy, we'll go ahead and make him a jumping power up. Okay. So this guy should be our jumping or speed. I can't remember. Our speed one. We trigger him, and we die. And I can't tell, but I'm pretty sure I moved faster. It's slightly faster, and our jumping for sure is working the way we want it to. Let's go back over here and let's test out this guy, and then here our health. We have to take damage first before we add, so let's go ahead and take some damage first. Okay, now we're at 2 health. And our health just jumped up to 3. However, all of our GUI is not showing up for any of the power-ups, so let's go ahead and figure out what's wrong with that. Okay, I just jumped into the script, and before I even tested it, I realized it was wrong. So what we're doing is every frame... okay, so first in our power-up manager, we're calling this this enumerator, this coroutine, and then we are setting the value to 0, and then we're doing all this code here to check, you know, if our elapsed time is greater than our duration. If it is, break out of it, and then do all this power-up off stuff. And one thing I realized is none of them were getting a power off out of the amount of time. So it wasn't just the GUI system that was working, it was this entire method here that was not being invoked, because the time system wasn't working either. And the reason for that is because we are setting this game object not active, which means the scripts inside it are also not going to be active. So let's go ahead and comment this out here, and we're going to go ahead and have to turn off the renderer. Now, the best way would to have an array of renderers, or get all the renderers in this game object. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll do a for each renderer, which is a built-in class from the Unity engine. We'll call it R in. I'll explain this statement in a little bit. I know it's something new, I'm pretty sure. In get components in children, or we'll just do, I think, yeah, in children, and then we'll do renderer include inactive. We'll do false. We'll do r dot enabled equals false. And so what this will do is we'll get all the renderers in our children and then set them to false. So that's, you know, if we have a complex power-up model where we have a hierarchy of renderers, and then also for our base level renderers, we'll do renderer for each renderer R in get components renderer. Is there a inactive for this? No? Okay. We'll do r.enabled equals false. Okay, so this is a for each statement, something new, and what this basically is, it's a for loop. I'm pretty sure we've gone over a for loop, I can't remember, but if not, then I'll explain it simpler, because a for each is simpler. So basically what this means is, for each means for every renderer, which we've defined renderer, that's inside of this array here, and this is a method that returns a, it's built in, it returns all the renderers in this game object. Then do the code that's inside of the brackets. Well, I didn't put brackets because you didn't need to, but I guess it'd be simpler for me to use them than to explain why you don't need them. And we can use R, which means that this code is called for every single renderer component, and it's called R for every single time. So that's what that does. And let's go ahead and try it out now, after I restart the video. Okay. Let's set the speed, and there we go. We've now, okay. Let's try and stay away from there. Can hit our weapon, and now you can see our GUI is working. We've got the timer counting down, And one thing you'll notice is I just ran into the power up again, even though it's turned off. So in here we also have to do collider. Well, we could do a for each loop the same way we did here. This is just to show you guys the for each loop, but instead I'm just going to do collider dot enabled equals false, and that's what we could have done for our renderer. But I figured I would show you guys a new concept. So now we can just turn off our collider when we hit it. I'm going to hit the speed guy again. If I could get by, I'll go get the other ones. And I'm actually going to increase my speed boost because I don't think it's enough. Max speed will make that something like how about 12. Okay. Then we see we have our +1 health popped up. Now let's go back and see if we can run into them again. And we cannot, so everything is now working as planned. As you can see, the GUI isn't as wide as it should be, and that's just, changing the numbers inside there. But other than that, we've got our power-up system working. So I'm going to go ahead and call this series ended. I think it's been exactly 30 videos, which is kind of cool. And so we've all the framework done. You can just pretty much drag in your own assets and your own models, and pretty much you have a game. Obviously you could change up some GUI and make it nicer, but this is pretty much it's a game. So in the next video, I'm going to open up a new project. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do yet, but something new. Maybe something 2D just to keep it simple. And if not, then if you guys want to, just message me on YouTube or on the forums, and we can do .NET programming, whatever you guys want. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.